Regis Prograis versus Devin Haney, or Devin Haney versus Regis Prograis. Here are the post-fight thoughts and reactions on BWTM Sports. I hate to say I told you so, but didn't I tell you so? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is a late one or an early one, depending on where you are in the world. For me here in Lagos, it is 6:14 in the morning. I don't stay up for many fights, but for this fight, in particular, I want to stay up for just to see if I'm actually learning about this sport of boxing or I've got it completely wrong. I got this one bang on. Haney versus Prograis. The problem for Prograis started, and the way I saw this fight was way back at the face-off. The face-off. Haney turned around to Prograis and said, "You got no skills." And Haney and Prograis was off, "Well, you got no punch." So for me, right there, it seemed to me that Prograis' mentality was, I'm going to come out and I'm going to land that left hand on you and I'm going to knock you out. That's it. And you've got no power and you're not going to stop me. I'm going to hit you on that left hand. I'm going to wobble you and I'm going to stop you. That was the mindset. And when you go into a mindset like that and you train like that, it's very hard to adjust when things are not going the way as planned. Or I'm going to beat the crap out of you. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. But the reality is that, first of all, you don't know how hard the guy punches. The guy's moving up in weight. So first of all, he's coming up with speed. He's hydrated, and you may be tight at the weight. And you're not really paying attention to the skill set. All you're talking about is power, power, power. And power can only take you so far without a skill set. After that, you start to get bamboozled, beat up. And in that fight, we just saw there, we saw Devin Haney land any and every punch he wanted to, when he wanted to, how he wanted to. It was embarrassing. It was one-sided. It was a complete shutout. It was at times that in rounds, the Prograis maybe landed 2 or 3 punches, if that. It was a complete and utter shutout. And that's what happens. That fight had to be hyped up and had to be shouting and screaming because the level of skill set between the two guys wasn't there. And I think Bill Haney and Devin Haney have cracked the Mayweather code. And the Mayweather code is this: make as much rah, rah, rah as possible. Make the opponent who's inferior to you feel that they've got a chance. Let them talk all their stuff. Make sure you've got a big mouth, guy who can talk a bit. A guy's going to fire back at you and start some controversy off, or, some cantankerous behavior. And then get a pay-per-view, get a good crowd in, and then beat the crap out of them afterwards because of their limited skill set. And I think they've cracked the Mayweather code. As far as I'm concerned, I think they've cracked the Mayweather code. That's what Mayweather used to do. Mayweather had the skill set to embarrass and to outbox and to basically take candy from a baby. And that's exactly what Haney did. He took candy from a baby tonight. That is boxing 101. That is boxing at its highest level. Haney was able to command the center of the ring and not get bullied. So for those guys who said that Haney can't punch, well, Regis Prograis got dropped, which I expected to happen. And that's what happens when you get into a fight and you don't expect somebody to do something, and then they hit you harder than you expected them to do. Your whole game plan changes because, okay, first of all, guy's got a longer reach than me. That's the first thing. The second thing is he's hitting me with a hard jab. That's rocking me. And then he's hitting me with a big right hand, and I'm not able to get out of the way of right hand. Anytime Haney hit with a jab, Prograis couldn't get away with it. Hitting with a straight right hand down the middle, nice 1-2. Chicken and chips, they call it, 1-2. He got hit with a combo, 1-2 every time. Chicken and chips, chicken and chips, chicken and chips. Left jab, right hand, left jab, right hand, left jab, right hand, straight for the middle every time. Chicken and chips. Proper combos. Do you know what I mean? And Haney was ordering them combos anytime he wanted to order them. Right? I'll have a chicken and chips. Pam, pam. Right. You know what? I'll have a cola with that. Pow. You know what? Throw me some wings with that. Pow. Up. Yeah. You know what? I need some hot sauce. Slip. So Haney was able to do what he wanted, how he wanted. That is boxing. That is boxing at his highest level. That is boxing. And Misfits is boxing at his lowest level. And nobody can say Haney's running because he stood in the pocket. He stood in front of a dangerous puncher and nullified him, took the left hand away from him by moving away from the left hand. And then because Prograis, as I said, would get desperate, he'd come lunging in, leave himself exposed. And he left himself exposed in many times, badly exposed as well. And I tell you, Haney could have knocked Prograis out. But because Bill Haney had Devin Haney fighting a cautious fight, hit him hard, let him know you're there, hit him hard, but don't do anything that's going to put you in a position that's going to allow Prograis back into the fight. And that was excellent. Excellent. People criticize, and I was one of them that criticized Haney when he got rocked in that fight. But you can't go in the water and not get hit. And you got hit by a guy who rocked him, who's a fantastic fighter, Linares. Right. So let's give Linares his credit there. But I think they learned from that fight and have improved since. Prograis wasn't able to get his feet into position to land the shots necessary to put a dent in Haney. Haney was able to control the range. Anytime Prograis decided to get out of his box, bam, right hand straight for the middle. Stopped him in his tracks. And for me, that is boxing for you. So I predicted it. I said it. I said he'd start chasing the fight. I said that Haney would be bigger. He would be stronger. He would punch significantly. People don't know what they're talking about when they say, oh, he doesn't punch. Well, because a guy doesn't have like the one punch knockout power. In fact, I prefer guys like fight like this with Haney, because they're not relying on that one punch knockout power. And you see a guy who like Prograis who's got knockout power, they rely too much heavily on that knockout power, and then they become one dimensional. And then when they meet a guy, they can't hit. I said to you in the beginning of this fight, I said Prograis is going to have to be able to get into positions, set his feet, and land shots. He couldn't do that because Haney was circling, moving, and anytime he set himself to land a shot, pow, he's getting it with a jab. Try to set himself to throw a shot, pow, he's getting hit with right hand. Set himself, he's getting dropped. So when he got dropped in round 3 by a guy who can't punch, and then he got stung again, and his legs did the funny dance, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. I don't know what Prograis is going to say. My suspicion is that he's tight at the weight. Yeah, at 34, I believe he's tight at the weight. I believe he's in weight range. That's not my problem. That's Prograis' problem and his team. So once again, fighters getting exposed because they're just relying on their punching power. And that's not enough at elite level. If you don't have the footwork, the boxing IQ. And by the way, Prograis was talking about what school he went to. Maybe if he went to a boxing school and learned how to box properly and how to cut off the ring and not rely on just his punching power, if he went to that school, maybe he'd still be world champion today. So, when you hear guys talk about the guy can't punch, he can't do this and he can't do that, let this be a lesson to boxing fans around the world that are listening to BWTM Sports. Learn their lesson. When a man starts talking about the guy can't punch and he's not been in the ring with the other guy, that is a concern. That's a red flag right there. The guy can't punch. What happens if he can punch? So Prograis found that he could punch and he couldn't respond. So congratulations to Devin Haney. Masterful performance. I would say that was Mayweather-esque. Work the body, work the head, straight right hands through the middle, hit you, then be gone. Yeah, it was Mayweather-esque. Really, you could see a lot of the Mayweather blueprint there in Devin Haney. That's what people are saying now. Let me get people. Let's see what people are saying in the comment section. Greetings to the chat and also to Ingram Jones. The problem Prograis did not have the educated feet, angles, and side to side work. This kept Prograis off balance, looking awkward, and he came forward and slow. I was looking to see if the WBSS Prograis would show up. That one that fought Josh Taylor, and Prograis at 34 is no longer the fighter, but in addition was outclassed. I didn't feel, even if he turned up against, I didn't even feel that even if the guy that fought Josh Taylor turned up would win, because I just think that Haney is a better fighter than Josh Taylor. Fact. I had it 120, 107 fight easy. This was Haney in a Gatti's moment. Made it easy and kept the hard punching, but more flattered opponent off balance and outside. Well, if Haney continues to follow the Mayweather pattern, he'll keep on fighting lies like that. Mexicans and Americans and anybody who's flat-footed, that's who Haney should fight. And that's the Mayweather blueprint. Flat-footed, slow, talk a lot. Salute BWTM, you were correct. Well, I think I'm learning a bit more about this sport. I think. And Haney took the left hand away from him, angled away from the shot while weakening him later. And when he tried to open up, not enough fire on his shots, and he was discouraged. Took the fight, right? That's exactly what I said. I said he's got to do it early in the fight. He'll work the body. He'll work the head. Prograis was slow. Second half of the fight, Haney will pick up. Prograis will get discouraged. May even get dropped. And that's what you saw. That was horrible to watch. Yeah, that's why you got all that hype. That's why you got all that hype at the press conference. Because in the cold light of day, and you look at Prograis, and you look at Haney, if you actually look at it, without all that hype, without all that talk, without all of that, why would you tune into that fight? Honestly, why would you tune into that fight? You tuned into that fight to see if Bill Haney was right, or to find if that dude that looks out. I don't know what movie he looks out. I don't know what movie he is. He looks like a. I can't remember the movie it is. Not a wrestler. I don't know what movie that dude is from. But anyway, that other dude in Prograis' corner, that dude did Prograis no favors whatsoever. None whatsoever. He just backed his ego. We're going to knock him out. Shouldn't focus. A guy like Haney, you can't focus on the knockout. A guy like Haney, you've got to get your feet. So the guy who beats Haney is a guy that's going to be able to step with him, stay close to him, and when he throws his punches, be there to throw your arm. You've got to throw when Haney throws punches. That's how you beat Haney. You've got to throw punches in between Haney. You've got to stand in front of him and throw punches in between you throwing punches. And you've got to have, if you've got a similar reach to Haney, that's where I think you've got a good chance, because now, he hasn't got that. He can't stretch his arm out and keep your distance. Now you've got a situation where you've got a similar arm reach, and then when he bangs, you bang as well. That's what you've got to do with Haney. I said Haney by position, very one-sided. Yes, I predicted Haney would probably drop Prograis as well. He could have knocked Prograis out. Don't think for 1 second he could have knocked Prograis out. So for me, I'm more interested in the post-fight press conference, the pre-fight press conference and the post-fight. I did say this fight would not live up to the expectation of the press conference. And I think we've got to really, as boxing fans, think to ourselves, you know what? In this era now of boxing, you're going to get a lot of people hyping fights up. We have to just enjoy the press conferences and not expect much of the fight. And if we do get a barn burner of a fight, that's a bonus. But we can't go into these fights anymore thinking this is going to be a barn burner because two guys are running their mouths off. No. We've got to say to ourselves, this is a cracking press conference, and they're both trash talking, and it's excellent stuff. And the post-press conference is going to be excellent. But don't expect too much in the fight. And that's what we saw tonight. I respected Bill Haney for keeping Devin disciplined and not rushing for the finish, which is what Prograis wanted and plays to his strength. Yes. But I think he could have stopped him if he wanted to. Thoughts on Montana Love, KO, and Everly Bridges loss? Never rated it, Everly Bridges. And I didn't watch Montana Love, but the stuff I saw of Montana Love, all I was seeing was him ducking into shots. So I don't know the ending of that fight. But yeah, never expect much from Devin Haney fight. I expect from Devin Haney. I think we've got to respect it. You see, the thing here, Watcher, is we can't have it both ways in this era, because if we're not careful, we're going to end up losing the thing that makes boxing great, and we're going to be brought to levels of Arturo Gatti fighting, and we don't want that, you know. So Devin Haney is an elite, as elite as we can get, you know. When you're talking about at his age, elite, you know. And then you look at Ryan Garcia the week before. In terms of boxing skill and ability, you can't say that Ryan Garcia's got the same skill set. You know, he might be a bit more exciting to watch because of his vulnerability, because of his chin and the way he fights, you know, and he's got exciting because he's got the left hook, but you can't compare him to Devin Haney in skill set. Again, you've got a guy like Gervonta Davis who has got a beautiful left hand, but I wouldn't say he's got the same skill set as Devin Haney. And then you've got Shakur Stevenson, who does more talking than he does fighting. And you know, I still think Devin Haney is the best out of all of them. And then you've got Devin Haney, and then you've got Terence Crawford, you know? Very true. The presses are usually better than the fights. It's true. And when the presses are that much, I always study, when the presses are that exciting, the fights very rarely live up to it. 140-pound Devin looked more poised, more muscle and hydrated, and benefit from the additional pounds. I said it. I said Devin Haney will look better at 140 pounds. How much better, we'll see on fight night. But I also think that Prograis weight drained. That's what I think. I don't really care about barn burners. I'm just hyping up. It's just the hyping up which turns me away. I get it. But, you know, if they don't hype it up, fight don't sell, fight don't get made. You know, I'm not expecting Devin Haney to sit there and sell a press conference. Not happening. That's why his pops is there. It's the same a blueprint as Danny Garcia and his father, Angel Garcia. In fact, I miss Angel Garcia. I miss him. I think Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Shakur Stevenson, and Devontae Davis are now shaking out, and we're starting to see the best of the bunch. Yeah, that's what we're seeing. It's true. It's absolutely true. So, all right, I won't extend this any longer, but yeah, I think the boy did good tonight in terms of not Devin Haney. Myself, I'll give myself in terms of this fight and fight predictions, A-. Haney didn't get the stoppage, but I think I've got everything else pretty much spot on. And I just learning process. Do you know the one thing I was really interested in tonight in the corners? It wasn't what the trainers were saying, but it was the dudes that were in the black jackets, the one in the suits that were watching, the guys that watched the corners. I spent more time tonight watching them in the corner, the ones who are watching the water and what's going on in the corner to make sure it's all legal. I spent a lot of time focusing on both of those guys tonight. And I don't normally do that in boxing when I'm watching boxing fights. But tonight I spent more time watching them and their role in the ring, in the corners. So that was an interesting thing, bit different. Anyway, thanks for watching. Much appreciated. Been a good night of boxing. Take care. And a very Merry Christmas to you all.